What's up, everyone? It's Monday Night Football. We're wrapping up an amazing maybe the best, maybe the greatest wild card weekend of all time.
Yes.
With the Monday night stinker, of course.
Maybe.
But what a weekend. We've got, so we're finishing it off with the Steelers on the road as 3-point favorites, taking on Aaron and the Steelers. Yes.
Texans,
the
yes.
Texans
Texans
are
favorites.
3-point road favorites in this one.
Yep.
38-point total. But Bobbywow, I mean, this was an epic weekend. First of all, just in how awesome the games were. The Bears game, I thought I was, at one point, I'm telling you, I'm not going to say I was, gummed up or anything. But at some point, I was like, is this deja vu? I just felt like I was watching the fourth quarter. There was a touchdown, same play, touchdown. I felt like I was watching like reruns. I was like, wait, is my stream going backwards? Another touchdown? That was crazy. That ending was insane.
We were talking before the show. That certainly makes a case for the best Bears game of my lifetime.
Yeah.
Best Bear. I mean, it was the Packers. You beat them again. You slay the dragon. It was a playoff game. Insane comeback. Caleb made one of the best throws I've ever seen on fourth down. And just everything about it. Oh my God. I truly have not slept much the last 2 days because it has been so awesome.
Yeah, no, it was great. And DFS was great. I mean, some of the calls, we if you watch the shows, the fate of Stafford in favor of Jordan Love winds up being the nut quarterback of the whole damn thing. Joe Lowe, even in the loss.
He looked great.
Even in the loss. Amazing. Right? And we had the upset with the 49ers. Great game. Just a wonderful weekend. I want to shout out some DFS Army folks. Took down some turn. This one's one of my favorite. This is the mini max, but I just love seeing Clorjust and Dodger Player 89 together in first place. It's just a reminder that the DFS Army tools kick ass. This is the domination station in action, doing what it was designed to do. We had so many of these. We had a bunch more people take down Pocket Max tickets, which I love as well. 1 cent in, 1 penny in, $1,000 out. I got 4 of those tickets. How many pennies do I need to spend to get $4,000 worth of tickets? Not that many, Bobbywow.
Not that many.
It ain't a million. Congrats to Darcel93, first place in the play action. And of course, B-Thig in a different play action, the Saturday only, 14 grand. Let's go. How nice is it? How nice is it? At the end of a season, you've been grinding away at the $60 contest all season long, and you're like, man, I hate doing this. I keep losing. I can't make money doing it. And then you hit the 14 grand.
Yes, sir.
That's what DFS is. It's frustrating. Just like being a Jets fan. Except with the Jets fan, you never get the payoff. But at some point, it's going to happen. And it'll make it all that much better. Or being a Bears fan. You never get the payoff. When's the payoff happen? And then finally you got your payoff against the Packers. That's not the true payoff. That's like winning. It's kind of like winning this play action, the 14K win. But the real payoff is the $1 million win. It's
more than that. But yeah.
We did see that, but I did see that as well. But I believe that person might, be in multiple groups. So I'm not even going to talk that one up. But congrats to that person as well. So an amazing weekend so far, and we got to close it out strong. Hopefully everybody did well in their best ball entries. And by the way, Bobby, I don't even know this. There should be a second chance playoff best ball.
That would be awesome.
I need to check Underdog. Chat, do they do that?
Underdog used to do that. I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
Like a second chance, like this.
Yeah.
A lot more confident about who's going to move forward. Yeah, Bobbywow was never frustrated, Renegade. That's the thing. Bobbywow always keeps it chill. That's the beauty. That's how you get there. Keep it chill. Never any frustration there. Always positivity, and that's the key. Don't let yourself get frustrated. Just keep it positive. Keep it positive, guys. So anyway. smashes all over the place. Playoffs working out as they should, and we have a whole another weekend coming up this weekend. The same kind of action, just as good.
Yeah,
just as good. I already know who's winning the games this upcoming. I figured it out. I now know where it's going. I don't want to say anything to Bobbywow because I'm not sure about the Bears.
Hey, look, you've doubted quite a bit this season already.
My doubt was not that game. My doubt was, are they ready to go to the Super Bowl?
Hey, look, you told everyone on Tournament Tactics the Bears were losing that game.
I did think
there was some doubt there.
Yeah, I did think that. I did think they were going to lose.
It's okay.
Yeah, I did doubt it. You're right. Hard to get away from.
Stafford in the cold. It'll be interesting.
What's that?
Cold. I said Stafford outside of a dome. He's in the cold and the snow. He has not done well historically. Not this season either. It'll be really interesting.
You know what? And we got the chat on screen now. Robert, why don't we get a rake-free contest on draft? You know what? I never asked, but next year, right? For the next season, I think I'll ask. I see no reason why we shouldn't have one for our peoples. I see no reason. But yes, this was a spectacular weekend. I mean, 550K guy, but all these wonderful, and especially this is just as equivalent. Like this same score wins the 550K. It's not like there's any difference here on the Sunday only. That's what wins it. So doing it in the mini max, it's just as skilled. It's just putting up less money. And that's what I'm saying. We had 2 people do that. And you don't have 2 people hit it by accident. That means the projections are on point. And the information was on point. We broke it down really well. The right fades. The right plays.
Yeah, fully agree.
All right, let's get into Monday Night Football action. And I'm just going to start with, let's go to the matchup tool. Let's just go to the matchup tool, see what these teams have been doing. Both of these teams, let's see. Did they play out their games? Yes. Both of these teams played out their games in full in the season.
Yeah, outside of Nico. So a little bit of wonkiness with the pass catchers on Houston.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. But let's give ourselves a reminder of what's going on with the Steelers here. And again, for the most of the season, it's been a fairly close split between Warren and Kenny Gainwell. And that continues with Warren getting most of the rushing work, but Gainwell getting most of the targets.
Yeah.
So interestingly, Gainwell was on the field way more than Warren in the finale, but Warren had a lot more usage. Just how it worked out. Warren had a big game and Gainwell did not. So Gainwell and Warren continue to kind of be this split duo with Gainwell a little bit more on the pass catching side. Does that sound about right, Bobbywow?
Yeah, Kenny G actually had a big game last week. Obviously Warren with the majority of the snaps and the majority of the rushes, but Kenny G put up a very big score last week. I think he scored a touchdown. There you go. 9 targets, 8 catches. He is becoming like Rodgers, kind of like his go-to guy, which is really bizarre.
This matchup sets up much better for Gainwell than Warren in the sense that, the Texans are not the kind of defense you necessarily kind of want to run up the gut on. I think a pass catching back should do better.
Yeah, their front 7 is as good as any in the league.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. So definitely. Definitely that. Let's continue though. Because the wide receivers so both teams wide receiver a little weird. DK Metcalf was still suspended, suspended last week, but he'll be back here. And who do we think he replaces in sort of the snap count spot?
I think it's kind of a combination of MVS and Thielen, but yeah, to me, MVS is probably more of the guy that he replaces. But I do think all 3 of these guys still end up getting some snaps here. With Thielen, Calvin Austin, who is kind of the unsung hero of last week. If you watch the game, he made some big plays at the end. So I see all 3 guys getting snaps, but probably not a majority for any of them.
Yeah. And we do expect Stingley Jr. will probably be on DK Metcalf. And DK is not a beat quality coverage guy all that much. So, temper expectations.
Yeah.
He's not priced that high either, but he actually is. So I would definitely be looking to temper expectations on DK based on the matchup. It's just, Stingley will be on him. So it'll probably be these other guys that, have a better chance. Although, no matter what the coverage is, DK Metcalf's always live to 4 receptions, 2 touchdowns as well. Like he can get there, but
we'll see. His ownership probably going to be low too, so that will factor in as well.
Absolutely. No one else really super relevant here. Scotty Miller and Benny Skoranek probably get relegated to nothing. And at tight end, though, tight end is wild for this team. I mean, the amount that it changes from week to week is shocking. But it does appear that Freiermuth is sort of the best one of them right now.
Yeah, I would agree. With Washington's out, so that kind of clears things up at least a little bit. It's primarily Freiermuth and then Jonnu Smith mixing in, but Connor Hayward is the tush push guy for the Steelers team. So he's the guy that's kind of getting the tush push carries near the goal line. So a turd to pay attention to.
He could get a tush push touchdown. I'm not sure if his price is going to be cheap enough to. We'll see. I guess we'll see.
I think he did last week. I think he's got a couple, and he got one last week as well.
Yeah, the rushing, the carries. I mean, how many carries did they give him? What?
He had a tush push touchdown. I don't know that he had more than 1 carry, maybe 1 or 2.
My guy had 3 carries, man.
Oh, 3 carries, and he caught a pass. There you go.
So I mean, it's difficult with it's genuinely difficult with the Steelers. There's so many turds. They all kind of get slightly involved. None of them are great, but this whole game is filled with that. Yeah, this whole game is filled with that. So we'll jump over to the other side here. But yeah, Hayward, fine. Freiermuth, yep. He's going to get in there. Yeah, Tebow Time says he's kind of their all-purpose use check fullback character. So maybe treat Hayward a little more as a fullback than a tight end. The position made famous by Bill Parcells, the halfback. Anyway, all right, moving on to Houston. So Houston last week did not play Nico Collins. Instead, they rolled out, a combination of really what they did was play a lot of double tight end last week, but they rolled out a combination of Christian Kirk, Hutchinson, and Jaden Higgins. So again, with the return of Nico Collins, Bobbywow, we look at Higgins, Hutchinson, and Christian Kirk. Which of these 3 do you think gets displaced?
That's a good question. I think, again, kind of similar here. I think Hutchinson is probably the guy that sees a drop. But again, both him and Christian Kirk will see less snaps here. My guess is Christian Kirk probably around the same snap count, maybe just slightly less, with Hutchinson getting the more dramatic drop.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see.
You have to kind of go back to what I would call them the season-long target shares. Because really interestingly, last week, they just were throwing it to Hutchinson like crazy. Let's see what happened with Hutchinson. So he was like the guy last week. Yeah, 9 targets, 5 receptions against the Colts. Yeah. But, rest of the season, he really wasn't doing anything like that. So I think you revert back. We'll have to check some of these price points. Yeah. Oh, Hutchinson. Yeah. 3,600, 20. Yeah. I mean, they're really cheap. Kirk, Hutchinson, Knoll. Look at these price points.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So none of them are ignorable because they're priced down relatively correctly. I'm going to be curious to see what the props are for these guys as well. We'll see in a moment.
And Kirk definitely has been the less exciting player between those two, especially as of late. Yeah. But again, cheap enough. You warrant some consideration on both these guys.
Yeah. Kirk has done very little this year. This is shaping up to be a pretty tricky Monday nighter. The running back situation. Woody Marks pretty much getting the main run, And what I think is going on here is that Jawar Jordan has kind of replaced Nick Chubb as the next guy, the next man up.
Yes, but Jawar Jordan has been ruled out for this game.
Interesting.
So I do think we see a little bit of Nick Chubb, but more so, I think we see a ton of Woody Marks.
Yeah, they're going to have to go crazy with Woody. Woody Marks has not had big scores this year, but, this is that spot. This is Woody Marks night, I think. If Jawar is out and Chubb is just, So, they'll roll Chubb back out there, but Chubb is just ineffective.
Yeah, Jawar was far more dynamic than Chubb. So, he was kind of the change of pace and getting a decent chunk of snaps. But he is, far more. He's young. He didn't blow out his knee. So, yeah, Chubb, I think, I don't know that we see more than a 20%, 30% snap share for Chubb at the most.
That seems even high. Yeah, that seems even high. Unless Chubb was hurt, now he's fully healthy, old guy. There could be some of that, but unlikely. Back to the matchups tool, tight end. It's pretty much all Dalton Schultz here. In terms of target, Cade Stover getting some snaps. Harrison Bryant getting some snaps, but I guess Cade Stover has turd level usability. Not sure I'm going there with Harry Bryant.
No, probably not. Cade Stover, turd, yes.
Yeah.
Bryant, no.
All right, here we go. All right, let's jump over to the domination station and get a look at some of these ownerships, Bobbywow. Now that we have a reasonable sense of how the slate looks on paper. Again, one thing I want to mention before we even get into this is the classic. Now, so we have two forces working, two separate forces working right now. On the one hand, we have this amazing wild card weekend of football and how all the games were awesome, or most of them. I would say all. Was there a dud?
The Patriots game last night kind of stunk.
Yeah, that was a dud.
Justin Herbert looked as bad as any quarterback. He stunk. He was horrible.
That was a dud. Patriots are good, though, defensively. Be careful about them for the rest of the year. We knew that, though. We weren't targeting that game.
Yeah, no, they're awesome.
Another observation from that game is it's time to accept that Ramondre Stevenson is the better fantasy asset than Trevion Henderson. I'm going to take that on myself. That is a mea culpa mistake that I've made for the last few weeks. No, really, I was watching the game going, you know what? This is a mistake I made in favoring Trevion Henderson.
It's a bizarre situation because
I don't think it's variable. I don't. I think it was an error in watching how they're playing. Just Ramondre's out there, he's catching passes. He's just the more dynamic guy. I don't know that means he's a better talent, but the way they're using him is going to produce more fantasy points. Unless it's one of those games where, Trevion, who has that amazing athleticism, could break one for 50 and he goes nuts and he does it twice and he gets you a 35. You have to think that's the less likely outcome. The more likely outcome, again, Patriots going forward, is we should be favoring Ramondre. Just like mental note for next week. Favor Ramondre. He is getting more receptions. He's in the game at the sexier moments. Just this. Mea culpa on that one. Anyway, back to it, Bobbywow. I had to say it. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And I was wrong about, I just used logic and reason as opposed to what was happening on the field. And that's always a mistake. It's almost always a mistake in football. So that was bad. All right.
It's like one of my favorite lines from a movie called Fun with Dick and Jane is, we played by the rules and we got screwed.
Yeah. Played by the rules. You expect the expected, and it doesn't work out. And then it's like, oh, that seemed really logical that they would play the young, this other guy's fumbling. Nope. Ramondre's who they want in the game. He's the one who's catching the passes. He's the more dynamic player right now. It's just that simple. I'm curious to see what the props will do on those guys next week and if the props will acknowledge what I just said. Because this past week, Henderson was still propped higher. All right, I'm done. Nico Collins, 22%. Understandable. CJ Stroud up there. Woody Marks up there. I like that. Got DK Metcalf, Gainwell, Schultz getting some love. Schultz and Warren. Aaron Rodgers, no, never. Never. And then kickers, defenses, and turds. Yeah, looks about right. One thing I want to mention, though, this game with this, so again, what I was kind of getting to before was this game does set up on paper with this 38.5 point total as one of these kickers and defenses types of games.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying before. It certainly sets up that way. But the alternate force pulling is the amazing weekend that all the wild card teams outside of that one game had. So like we have this pull of like every game was awesome this weekend and keep that going. And on the other side, it's like the history of 38.5 point total games on showdowns is not one where offensive points are being scored galore.
Yep. Yeah. But, at least a competitive game spread here. And that's all you can ask for.
Close game. And the road team is favored, which actually creates for an interesting dynamic because the home team is going to keep it close. So if the road team is getting it done, the home team is going to answer. That's an important thing to understand. Higgins' first TD score, sure, why not? Never a bet that I would make. All right, so looking at these captains, Bobbywow, is there anything that you see here that stands out as like, I don't know about that?
No, not really, honestly. I think makes sense. I'm a little surprised, maybe Gainwell isn't a little bit higher just because of that PPR upside. But again, it's the Texans defense, DK Metcalf back. That might take a little bit away. So to me, this actually makes a ton of sense.
Is there room on this slate if you're making like 150 to play like Texans or Steelers defense up there? Or you think is that a little too thin?
I don't think so, and here's why. I think the Steelers defense has been better, but they're not elite by any means, and especially their passing defense. And the Texans defense, as good as they are, and they are very, very good, Aaron Rodgers just isn't a guy that makes bad decisions. He doesn't turn the football over much. So now the sacks could get them there if I'm playing anyone, at captain. If I had to choose one, it's the Texans for sure, because man, they're going to rush Rodgers. And they are very good at, with their pass rush, but yeah, I'm probably not getting there myself.
In the under 10% owned group, which is a big group, and actually I'm assuming the answer would be Gainwell here, but like, is there any captain that you're willing to get leverage on above the field weight significantly? Assuming we both agree, like, Gainwell, fine. I agree on Gainwell already. So not including Gainwell.
Yeah, I mean, Woody Marks at 10%. He's a guy that I like getting leverage on, especially with Jawar Jordan out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's in a really interesting spot. To me, I think he sees some extra kind of maybe some work in the passing game that he hasn't seen as much as of late. So that's kind of interesting to me. Dalton Schultz, he's a guy that I think it was maybe even last week. He's had a couple of bigger weeks. Typically, Dalton Schultz has been like a not sexy, like,
boring,
maybe 10 to 12 point player. Exactly. But he's had a big week or two, so he might be worth paying attention to as well. Yeah, the 21 pointer right there, 18 pointer early. Like 14. That gets it done at his price.
Yeah. Even the 14 pointer could get it done.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're thinking Schultz, get a little leverage there. Definitely a little Woody Marks, a little Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah, I don't even hate going a kicker here. Like I think Fairbairn, he could make it happen. Even Boswell. Boswell is a stud. Like these two guys.
Yeah.
We've seen kickers do it before. I don't hate the idea of getting some exposure. Kicker captain for this one.
This is a kicker game all day. This is a kicker game. You want these kickers in your lineup. I mean, it goes back to it. How many times have we done these breakdowns?
Yeah.
You get the low-scoring game, teams that can't get the ball in the end zone, and the kickers wind up, with 4 or 5 field goals. That is not uncommon in this style of game. Not always, because some of the games just wind up like, 17-10, and you only got the 2 field goals in it, but like a low scorer. But frequently, these types of teams have a hard time getting the ball in the end zone. And that just winds up with a bunch of field goals. So yeah, I like it. Boswell too, man. I don't know which side. Fairbairn's a very good. Both of these are good kickers, Bobby.
Both are good. Yeah,
and both teams play offense in the same way. They can't score touchdowns. Both have those issues. Of course, we all like Nico Collins as well up here, and he's going to be highly owned, and for good reason. I'm not sure that we have to worry too much about spending that money on Nico. It's not an expensive captain price. Lamar Jackson was $19K when he's on the slate as a captain. This is a much cheaper, most expensive player on the slate than we normally see.
Yeah, Nico should be able to feast. I mean, this should be a good spot for Nico Collins.
Yeah. I'm less excited. I think all right. So I'm going to ask you this question.
Yeah.
If you had to fade a captain that was highly owned, and I'll include, there's a couple names here. There's 2. I could see. So if I wanted to save some ownership, Bobbywow, and try to win the tournament, the 2 names that stand out to me as, fadeable or slight fade, the barbershop, a little off the top, Stroud and Metcalf.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, look, Stroud has been better as of late, but he's scored 20 plus points 3 times this season. So that's certainly a risk I want to take, is fading him. It's because he's not a 20 plus point guy, and that's probably what he's going to need at that price tag.
I'd be shocked if he gets more than 17, 18 fantasy points in this game.
Yeah, and look, he could do it. Like, this props projection is off the charts. It's very good. And the Pittsburgh passing defense is softer than I think most people would think. But yeah, it's hard to see him throwing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns here. That would surprise me, and I think the chances of him underperforming are much better than his captain ownership right now. So I fully agree with you on the Stroud fade. I
might still have some Stroud, to be clear, but more like a 6 or 7. Like, I want to be under on that. Maybe I'll get some shares of it. And then with DK Metcalf, for me, it's really just it's not a good matchup for him going up against Stingley Jr. Oh. If you're Houston's a smart team. This is a playoff game. One of the things I want to emphasize, guys, in the playoffs, it's not like the regular season where a team might come in not really having thought too much about this week's opponent. These guys put in a lot of thought.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're playing against the Steelers, you're kind of like, man, if we could stop DK Metcalf, then we could just focus in on running plays, and you could just kind of hone in. There's no reason you wouldn't put your best guy on DK Metcalf. And DK Metcalf is not, again, he's not traditionally been a beater of elite coverage. He's kind of one of these guys that doesn't have that elite route running skill. He's just fast, and he can go up and get it.
Yeah, he's a specimen for sure. DK. The other thing about DK is he's just not a high volume guy, which makes it even tougher for someone like him to overcome a stud in coverage.
Yeah, not to say he can't, though. He can.
It's happened before. Yeah, sure.
We've seen it. We've seen it with anybody, but
the odds are against it.
Yeah. All right. All right. So let's kind of. I'm going to do a quick sort by props projection here. I kind of want to see if there's any values here that stand out. Obviously, all these cheap players do, but yeah, Fairbank pops. You've got Cade Stover at 600 if you need. I don't think you need this, but Stover, acceptable play at way down there because of him being used a little bit. After that, kickers.
Good call, Tebow time. That's interesting. That does help. Deshaun Elliott.
Yeah. Now, Deshaun Elliott maybe slows down Nico Collins.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd go that far, but it's a net positive.
Yeah. Firemouth with a reasonable. So the next thing I like to look at here, the next way I like to look at is sort by salary. You can kind of go down the fantasy points per dollar, and you can kind of start to see, oh, okay, like Warren 10.8, Gainwell 13.
Rodgers, hideous props for is hideous.
Yeah, I mean, this is disgusting. But we knew that about Rodgers. Oh, now he's saying Elliott won't play.
Oh, well.
Well, there you go.
Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, back to right back to Nico. Jaden Higgins with a nice number here at 7K, but Dalton Schultz at 6,400. Oh my goodness, we're so much better.
Yeah, gross for Higgins. That's. Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be way more attracted to, and Woody Mark's not that great either. I'll be honest. I don't like this number.
That one's shocking to me.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm still gonna play him, but like, I don't like.
Look how much lower than the projection. It's 2.5 points. We never see that.
I think we need to bet some overs on this guy right now because I that number seems like not accounting for the fact that Jawar is out, or it's assuming Jawar being out, they'll just give the touches to Chubb and keep Woody Marks steadily kind of like not being used that much. Yeah, Higgins gets the bump down in ownership because of this mediocre.
That's brutal. That's a
projection.
horrible props projection.
Yeah. And by the way, Money Major, I'll acknowledge this. I'm not sure that Woody Marks is a good player. He hasn't had really very good games.
He's extremely inefficient.
Yeah.
Or at least he has been.
Effectively, if I'm the Texans, I'm not going into the offseason like, no, we're good. I'm going into the offseason like, shit, we need a running back.
Yeah.
Like if I'm the Texans, I'm going after Rico Dowdle or Breece Hall or one of the free agents.
I'm dialing up Joe Mixon and saying if you're out there, Joe, if you're alive,
no, Joe's
come back.
No, he's not coming.
Send a bat signal.
He's
for
not
Joe.
Resurrecting.
Can you imagine? I mean, it's crazy. He would make the team.
He just resurrects for the playoffs. He's on the team now. If he was okay,
right.
he can start now. Come on, but he's not. He's not. He's done.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done. Cheap guys. You're not seeing much value down here. I want to look at Freiermuth. 5K, man, he's overpriced.
Overpriced, but better prop projection than Higgins, and he's kind of emerging with Washington out. He's emerging as as a decent play.
Let's go to the turd zone, Bobbywow.
I got a turd here that I like a lot at low ownership. I think Calvin Austin is really interesting here. And part of the reason he's solo owned is because his price is higher than I think most people would like to pay at $3,400.
It is higher, yeah.
But he's a guy that I think the Steelers coming into the season felt like he was going to be an X factor for the team, and he's kind of been banged up. Slow start to the season, got hurt. Last week he looked really good, and Rodgers was looking his way in crunch time. That tells me a lot. And so I think Calvin Austin has a chance to kind of be a sneaky turd here. Kind of gross on the price. I'm not, I'm not confident he's going to smash, but it feels like he might have a bigger role than people might think.
I mean, listen, we saw it when we looked at the snap counts. Between Austin and Valdez-Scantling, now you have the return of DK Metcalf. Who's going to lose the snaps? I mean, Calvin Austin was the guy for most of the season that was getting the WR2 work.
And he should be the WR2 here as well. Yeah. I think it'll be MVS and MVS kind of splitting the WR3 snaps with Thielen. And I think Austin's still the number 2, but more than that, it was just, it was an elimination game. It was now or never time, and Aaron Rodgers was locking in a little bit on Calvin Austin.
Yeah.
And Austin looked good. So I'm really intrigued by him.
Let's just paint a scenario of this game happening, okay? And there's 2 things going on screen that are really interesting right now that I want to share with you and get your thoughts on. But again, we've already said here, Stingley, a really good player on his team, right? Likely going to lock down Metcalf. So what are the Steelers likely to do? they're probably going to try to throw it to someone who's not DK Metcalf. That's Austin or MVS or whoever's on that other side of the field, or even like a Muth or
Muth, right?
Right. So going in, we know, okay, just from logical conclusions, it's going to be harder to get the ball to DK. They're going to have to use these alternate names to throw it to. And then what's interesting to me is these guys are all really, really cheap, but they're all unowned because no one knows what the fuck is going on. And that's what I kind of like about what I'm seeing here. Between Thielen, Austin, and Valdez-Scantling, they all share something in common. Really shitty prop projections, very bad, and very low ownership, right? And so you might be like, oh, I shouldn't play any of them. I think these guys, I think this is how you win the slate today.
I agree. I fully agree.
Yeah. This is how you win the slate. It's not about picking high projected players exclusively. It's also understanding that the way you win the slate, just like yesterday with Demarcus Robinson, who was a very obvious play, and I was forcing him. I actually had Pearsall, and I did a global player swap to Demarcus. Or you're leaving 2,000 on the didn't matter. Global player swap, because I was like, I don't care. I want the WR2 for the 49ers here, and that's what you had to do to get it. And it worked out amazing. And those are my lineups. My DeMarcus Robinson lineups were my best ones. If you happen to have one that like paired up with Romeo Doubs, like you that's how you won it. That's how everybody won.
Yep. And Triple L has this exactly right. Houston is going to keep the pressure on. Rodgers going to be forced to get rid of the ball. Guys like Gainwell, Freiermuth, I think even Austin out of the flat or on quick slants. Yeah. That's the only path to victory for Pittsburgh, in my opinion. So great call out there, and I fully agree. That's what we got. That's how we got to kind of see this game playing out.
KJJ says Adam Thielen was being targeted last game. Yeah, he got some targets too. So any one of those guys, any one of those guys could end up being it. But I agree. I think Houston's going to bring the pressure. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to get rid of the ball fast. And to me, it does lend itself more to Gainwell compared to Warren at running back. And whichever wide receiver or tight end they end up targeting, but it probably will come at the expense of DK Metcalf, who is running deeper patterns against elite coverage. Let's just see here. Yeah, anything down here that we even need to pay attention to? Jawar Jordan out. I mean, you mentioned Connor Hayward. Is that about it? Like the miracle tush push guy, maybe Connor Hayward, nothing else?
Yeah, Kate Stover as well is just like a super punt. Throw a dart at him in a 150 lineup, MME. But man, yeah, I don't know that you have to get down here. Xavier Hutchinson, you got like the 2K and up, I think at 2 to 3K zone is really interesting to me, more than the turd zone this week or for this game, I should say.
Christian Kirk is getting a lot of ownership. That is
and he's got a decent prop at that price, 4.8.
Yeah,
he's a veteran. He's kind of been there before, I guess. But yeah,
gets a few targets most weeks. Right? Do I love it though? I'm not sure.
He's kind of a poor man's Jacoby Myers, a real poor man. How
great has it been to be watching this show all throughout the season, especially in the second half? And we got you on Parker Washington, and the hipsters kept pushing Jacoby Myers, and we kept saying, no, Parker Washington's the better play. And, the people in the chat were like, don't listen to these guys. They don't know what they're talking about. Myers is great. The hipsters told me that. I said, do what you got to do. But Parker Washington's been a cheat code all year. And for it to keep happening and coming true, Bobbywow, you know how hard it is to fucking put your balls on the table and be right about something? You know how many times you get smashed when you put them up there and it goes like that and they get squished? Oh, my whole computer just went nuts. Lucky I didn't turn it off. Are you still there? Did I lose you? I slammed my hand on
Still
the
here.
table.
Still here.
The whole thing broke.
That made me the most sad of anything when the Jaguars lost is we can't take advantage of the Myers Washington situation.
That's been a cheat code. You could win your cash games basically the second half of the entire season this year simply by taking the cash lineup and swapping Myers for Parker Washington every single week. And I kept hearing from the announcers, and they said, Jacoby is becoming the number one target. He's becoming the top guy. And I kept being like, what are they talking about? Are they not watching these games? It's not Jacoby. He gets 6 targets. It reminds me of like a poor man's Wan'Dale Robinson. They're all short targets. They don't produce any fantasy scores. It's like a bad version of Khalil Shakir. That's actually the more correct name. It's like a less good Khalil Shakir.
There you go.
Where Parker Washington's anyway, it's a shame. It's a shame. Dude, that was in the chat, Poop Sammy. That was in the chat. That's what the comments say. And I'm like, really? Okay. They also yelled at me for my dart love all year. I'm like, what's wrong with it? The guy had a flame emoji 10 weeks in a row. There was one miss. Tijuana gets it, man. Why? It's just crazy. It's crazy. But it is what it is. So, Christian Kirk is no Parker Washington. Let's say that. So in the turd zone here, Bobbywow, you're thinking like sneaky guy, Calvin Austin.
Yeah, the 2 to 4K is so intriguing. Like even someone like Jonnu Smith, I think is intriguing. But Calvin Austin, my favorite of that group by far.
Take your chances. I like both kickers. Give me some kickers. Give me some kickers. You can't even spend this is what I thought was going to happen. You can't even spend it. If you want to play some we want Gainwell in there, right? So you can only do one. Got to get Gainwell in there. But even if you use the most expensive captain,
right, that's a great, to me, that I love that lineup. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So
I would enter that.
Just this lineup on pay. Yeah, I'm trying to get Woody Marks also. I'm trying to get some defenses in there, but I see who I want to build around. I see who I want to build around on the slate, and I don't think it's that difficult. Again, salary not super relevant. It's not. If you don't want Calvin Austin in there, maybe we could, salary could matter a little more. You want that punt, but with one punt in there, and what this is telling me also is that the Cam Hayward thing is not going to work. You don't need a $600 guy. I don't need Stover. I don't need a rushing touchdown from Stover here. I don't need 6 points. That's not even going to do anything. That doesn't lock you into a win.
Yeah, I think I'm fully in agreement with you. My focal point, as far as my turd goes, my pay down will be that 2 to 4K zone.
This works with anyone. You can go Calvin Austin, then you make the same lineup with Valdez Scantling, then you make the same lineup with Christian Kirk. Like, you should just right there. Pass on Russell Stover. You know what? This means more to me than even what you're just saying, because those candies are nasty. Like, if the worst candy, the Russells, the Stovers. You ever have that, Bobbywow?
Those are not my favorite. Not my favorite.
Yeah, if you're gonna do, it's the worst. I hate getting that mix. Give me some Reese's.
Oh yes, thank you.
Peanut butter cups. You know what was at the supermarket yesterday? This giant box of frozen ice cream Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh my Lord.
And it was like an industrial size. And I my daughter's with me, and I'm like, oh my God, you got to see it. And she's like, you're fat, you're not eating this. And she would not let me buy it. She's like,
that sounds amazing.
It's unhealthy.
Peanut butter chocolate. Oh my Lord, it's the best.
It's frozen. I was so excited to buy it. And she's like, you're fat, you're unhealthy. I'm not fat. I work out every day.
Oh my God.
She body shamed me into not buying it. And I didn't buy it. I felt the shame and I didn't buy it.
Probably for the best.
Let's see here. You put Gainwell up top and it just gets crazy. But it's too easy to make captains here. I can't spend the money. I have 1,800. I don't even know what to do with it. Too much money. Too much salary. Yeah, you want Thielen? Everybody yelling out Thielen? Fine. Put him in Thielen.
There you go.
You get there. Yeah.
And look, I think what's going to happen is a guy like Aaron Rodgers is going to be over-owned because people want to jam guys in. So, and I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers can't get there. The guy's a beast. He's a stud. But this is a very good defense. So the field is going to jam those top guys in that maybe don't make as much sense. And so that's why I kind of love the strategy of the 2 to 4K zone. I think that is a unique. I think it's a way to get unique on this slate, and that's where I'm rolling.
I'm going to give you a whole other way to approach this, which is very simple. I feel wildly confident that the nuts score on this slate will leave significant salary over. This is not a spend all the salary kind of contest. So do with that what you will, people. I would say purposefully try to make lineups that leave significant amounts of dollars on the table. If you're trying to hit the nuts, not to cash in your cash in 10-man and play a 10-man league. So, Bobbywow, if we were doing a 10-person league, okay, high floor, a high probability. I'm trying to build the highest floor I can. Take me through it, top to bottom. The highest floor. Do you just say fuck it and put the quarterback up top, knowing he's definitely gonna score something?
I think it's Nico. I think you go Nico up top. I think you go Stroud and Schultz. I think you go Kenny Gainwell.
Then kickers.
And then the kickers.
Can't even get both kickers.
Yeah, probably then
give up Schultz for the other kicker.
And that's fine to me.
And then you go Boswell. Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Look at that.
There you go. Yeah, I like it. I like that's the best floor. Yep.
I shouldn't even show this on screen for too long.
And that's kind of your cash approach to me, or 10-man.
I wish I didn't have the Millie Maker. This is literally the worst possible lineup to put into this Millie Maker. It's the worst. I'm not doing it. He says Stroud for Warren. No, I don't. No. Stroud has a higher floor than Warren.
No, he's agreed.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. This is not something you want to put in the big contest. You will lose if you put it in the big contest. That's not for this, but this is pretty cashy. I could see it
is cash. That is cashy.
This is very cashy. I could see some variations here, but this seems about right. I could see.
I mean, Stroud's prop projection is more than 5 points higher than Warren's.
No, you have to play Stroud over Warren, and you have to play the running back, a quarterback. In cash game, you really got to play. The only real question is, do you need to play Aaron Rodgers? And it's kind of like
absolutely not.
I think you probably should. I don't
think so. This is the Texans. This is a different defense, man. Look at his big games. His biggest game came against the Bengals, I think.
Cleveland didn't do much.
Detroit's passing defense was shattered.
Baltimore, they owned Baltimore, but that's like a specific thing. Yeah, didn't do shit against Cincy, Pittsburgh, Colts. Good game against Cincy here. Cleveland does all right. I think it's I can't check Aaron Rodgers against the Texans. Did they play the Texans this year? No.
And look, one thing I was going to say is don't be shocked if neither quarterback is in the Millie lineup. Don't be shocked tonight if that happens in a kind of a stink fest.
Ooh, I'm having some side pain here, but I think slamming the table over there, I may have pulled a muscle. I slammed the nuts on the table before.
Oh, man.
Feeling like a weird pain. But hold on.
Jeez Louise.
It's okay. It's on the right side. It's not a heart attack.
Your daughter was right.
She was right. That's why I listened to her. I'm like, all right, you're right. Because what my fat ass needs to be eating giant fucking ice cream Reese's peanut butter cups every night. No,
God, that sounds so good though, man. My goodness.
It looks so good. You have no idea. I was like, I wanted to have an excuse like that. My kid wanted it, but then I was going to eat it all. She's like, I don't want that shit. Fuck. Damn. It's cold. Stroud sucks in the cold. I don't. Whatever. This is what he did with the Jets is so irrelevant to me. I don't think it matters. This is a different team, a different guy, a different everything. But what did he do, Josh? Like, without forcing me to take it, look, like, did he win? I would imagine he just got destroyed because the Jets suck.
Yeah, look, I think just say it out loud again. It's possible Rodgers can perform well. Like, we're not saying it's impossible that he has a good game. I think what we're saying is it's a good spot to bet against it happening as far as DFS is concerned. So again, I think his ownership is going to be higher than it should be just because people have salary and they want to spend it. So I do like the idea of kind of being underweight here.
Yeah. My sensibility though remains that I think in a cash game, you should try to get Aaron Rodgers in there.
But then you're punting. You're punting though.
Yeah, so you'll need a punt or something else. You have to give up something to get it. But like, what if you went more like Gainwell? I really like Gainwell in this game, and I don't mind him as a captain at all. And if you went him up top and kind of threw Rodgers in there, so it's 3,800. So really, where are you giving up the spot?
I really don't think you go Rodgers. I'm telling you, I don't think in my cash lineup, I'm not going A-Rod here. His profit projection is just too low.
Go with the
price
is
too high. I love that first lineup you had in there
with Nico. Yeah, that's probably it. And then you just need to hope that Freiermuth doesn't destroy you, because all these other spots are going to do fine, and the kickers will be fine. It really would. This almost like this last spot is the most sketchy. You can even Texans defense if you wanted to get different.
I think Muth is fine. Again, 60-70% of the snaps last week with Washington out.
I mean, the good games from him are few and far between. Like, he's
but
really
8 or 9 gets it done in this approach. I think in a cash game, 10 man, I think that gets it done.
Yeah. Showtime Tim knows what to do when we get a little too aggressive on the fade.
I like it.
Just go all in. Just go all in.
I'm rooting for Rodgers here. I hope he does well. I just think this game ends up being kind of a stink fest, like a 19-13, 19-16 type of game where a bunch of field goals, defense is playing really, really well. CJ Stroud kind of struggling like we've seen in the past. So that makes it tough for a quarterback to put up a bunch of points. Plus the Texans defense is just, they are that good. Their defensive line is so dang good.
They're really good, guys. They're really good. And, the whole when you're going into these slates, a lot of your mind is like, who's going to score and where's the offense coming from? And you got to twist your brain a little bit to defensive matchup. What's that going to look like? What's going to be able to do well? What will fail if it's one of those stinky Monday night games, which is what's coming, guys. It's probably going to be this boring ass game that is 10-3 at halftime. And just be prepared for that possibility. I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of like Stroud can't play in the call. I don't know that this ain't Miami. There's no history of that with the Texans. They're I don't know that they're not a cold weather team.
Well, Stroud played, he's at Ohio State, I think, in college. Like, this is a guy that's had some experience with cold weather. I'm not super concerned about it.
I mean, the weather in Houston's nice, but it's not. We're not in a cold snap here in the Northeast either. It's like 30 degrees, 33. That's perfect football weather.
Yeah, and it's a good spot for him. Steelers' passing defense has been questionable.
Yeah, Ray knows. Ray, type in the chat.
In the middle.
How many playoff teams are you moving on? And also, Ray Zanny, let me know, is Underdog or DraftKings doing a second chance week 2 best ball contest? Because I feel even better about that. I got to see if they're doing it. I want to play it. All right, let's jump over to FanDuel real quick here, Bobbywow, and give a little brief overview. FanDuel's probably, a preferred format for me for this particular slate. Like, I think FanDuel is a little more straightforward. Let's look at the MVPs. Yeah, Collins, Stroud, Woody Marks. Not enough
Schultz
Kenny
is
Gainwell.
so cheap. Yeah, not enough Kenny G. Schultz is so cheap on FanDuel. It's insane.
Aaron Rodgers, 4% owned.
If you want to play A-Rod, play on FanDuel. He's the same freaking ownership, and the odds of him are much higher on FanDuel that he ends up in the optimal lineup. It's crazy.
How about Gainwell?
I still don't like him, but yeah, him and Gainwell both. There is leverage to be had.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, FanDuel sets up weird, guys. This sets up really weird, and it's given a lot of love to Nico Collins, which is fine, but it's very rare that a Nico Collins type wide receiver can outscore CJ Stroud. As a matter of fact,
he hasn't done it much this season, if at all. It's been few and far between at best.
Let's see the occasions when this has happened. So, all right, let's look for big games from Nico. All right, you got a 22 and a 17 in weeks in
Arizona KC.
Yeah, Arizona KC, 22 and 17. Stroud, game log. Arizona 23. KC 12, only so 12. So he did it one out of these two. Then there were two other big games for Nico Collins.
I think one came with Davis Mills, maybe.
Yeah, when was the Davis Mills? Or Tennessee and Jacksonville, November 16. Or we got, all right, November 30th, 16th, and 9th. All between 19 and 22. 30th, 16th, and 9th. So we look at Aaron Rodgers. November 30th. He comes out of the game and gets hurt.
Yeah.
16th only scores 9. Nico outscores him. And 9th also. So, no, he is being outscored by Nico pretty frequently.
It's happened a couple times, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Wait, but that's Aaron Rodgers. We're looking at CJ Stroud.
What am I? Jeez. Did I just mess that whole thing up?
Yeah.
I did.
Got the first two right. We did Stroud the first time.
So I just messed it up here. So, no. It does look like those were the games where he was out.
Davis
so those
Mills
were games. Those November games were with what's his name? Although November 30th he scores a 10. Nico Stroud, CJ Stroud, November 30th.
Looking at.
Stroud gets.
Is your side hurting? Holy cow,
yes,
man!
I'm sorry, Nico Collins, November 30th, 19. So definitely Collins can outscore. Or Collins can outscore Stroud. I don't know why my brain is not functioning correctly here. So it's almost like 50-50. So actually, I do agree that.
I wouldn't say 50-50, but yeah, the fact that their ownership is the same, I'd prefer Stroud there, is what I'll say. If ownership was lower, better case made for Collins.
Yeah, but I'm not going to fade. Basically, I didn't have enough not gummies, guys. This is just early, and I don't know. But not fadeable. Not like, I'm not trying Nico Collins. Nico Collins definitely can.
Agreed. I think that's a good point. Yep.
That's what I mean. But yeah, I'll probably be a little more interested in Stroud. But also, yeah, you've got starting running back Woody Marks here, who's getting very low ownership and cheap. You got Kenny Gainwell / Jalen Warren, who are 4% owned, and those are running backs. That's very low. Even Aaron Rodgers. I don't love him here, but he's a quarterback at 4% owned on FanDuel. That's a little crazy. And then from there, I guess, who is it? Schultz, and then
Schultz
kicker?
Is just way too. Schultz to me is a must play in the flex on FanDuel. He's insanely cheap. I'm not playing him at MVP, but he's the best flex play on the slate on FanDuel.
Stroud, Collins. Hold on, Schultz.
He's 5,800. He's way down there.
Wow. Okay.
He's below the defenses.
Yeah, that's bananas. Boz, Kaimi. Oh, I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
My one reservation about Gainwell, and I still love him. I still love him on FanDuel. The half-point PPR makes a big difference for a guy like him.
Yeah. He's more a PPR asset. He scored a touchdown. But, he gets the touchdown, too.
Yeah, and he's priced like it's a half-point PPR. Like his price isn't inflated by any means. He's lower than Warren.
He's cheaper than Warren, and he's a better play this week. Woody Marks is here. I mean, there's other ways to build a lineup of this style, but my goodness, I like this one.
Yeah, don't sleep on Woody Marks. People are forgetting about him on FanDuel, it feels like. He's way too low owned for a guy that's going to get just a ton of snaps and usage.
Yeah, I'm more excited to play this slate on FanDuel even than DraftKings.
Yeah, we had a lot of Aaron Rodgers love in the chat. Man, if you're playing Rodgers, FanDuel is that's the key tonight. He's same ownership on FanDuel, but we know quarterbacks have a higher likelihood of kind of ending up in the top slot in the nuts on FanDuel. So I really like that play here. Yeah,
no, I like the way this sets up. It's much clearer to me. And you could get weird. The weird spots are tight ends, I would say. The Freiermuth thing where he popped off that one game. Can he do it again? You don't really have too many other threats for monster scores here. You know, a lot of these guys after Marks, like, I don't really think like Calvin Austin is a threat for a monster score. He can have a good score, but if he's doing it, I would think Aaron Rodgers is doing it more. Similar with Jaden Higgins. If he's getting it done, Stroud is probably going crazy or doing it more.
I like that lineup a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in. All right, guys. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers us. Favorite, maybe turd on FanDuel. FanDuel, I think it's Schultz. No, that's kind of a turd price.
Schultz to me is a slam dunk flex play on FanDuel.
Let's see. Fantasy point, prop space projection, Fairbairn, Schultz, Boswell.
I like Jonnu Smith as a turd as well.
Yeah, 2,400. That's insane.
2,400. Yep.
I mean, 2,400 is crazy. That's this is crazy. Jonnu Smith could get a touchdown. Like when you play Jonnu Smith, you could play anybody you want. So
you play Smith and Schultz. Yeah, again, Smith is more of like a GPP turd. I'm much more confident that Schultz gets there. Like to me, Schultz would be in every one of my lineup if I'm playing, MME on FanDuel tonight in the flex. Because he only has to put up 7 or 8 points at that price, and he's done that. I mean, virtually every game this season. He's been a stud.
He usually this game sets up for him to get, 5 to 9 target. Yeah, it's hard to see that not working out. What a fun one. This actually turned into a fun slate. I think it's a fun one on FanDuel especially, and that's not something I say all the time. I usually don't think so, but I like the way this one sets up because you have less decisions. I think on DraftKings, there's a lot more possibilities at that captain spot. Like you really have to account for a lot of stuff. I think it's a little fewer. I think there are fewer areas we need to deal with and worry about on FanDuel compared, or relatively speaking. And you can see a little bit here in just the ownerships. And again, if you're willing to kind of fade maybe one or a little bit like a DK, you don't even have to here, and just push that ownership over to Gainwell and Warren and even Aaron and Schultz, whatever.
Yep.
Like, am I playing Christian Kirk at 3% as my captain? No, not gonna play him at all.
It's crazy that he's more expensive than Schultz. It's just absolutely insane.
He's got a 5.4. Yeah, and Schultz, where's Schultz? Yeah, Schultz has a 12 point. I mean, it's crazy. This is more 13 versus a 5.
I mean, come on.
How is this even possible? I mean, it's ridiculous. Even Muth is nowhere near Schultz and more expensive.
That's why I'm telling you, Schultz on FanDuel.
Yeah, Schultz on FanDuel, but definitely Muth on DraftKings more. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Showdown breakdown time. Monday Night Football action. Guys, I want to see more helmets crushing it across the board. What a week. We're still going strong throughout the NFL playoffs. You know what else is going strong, Bobbywow? Over at Sharp App, the Arbitrage crew is killing it. If you guys are watching this and you haven't checked out Sharp App and effectively the free money side hustle that is arbitrage betting, I've been saying it every single week. If you go to the Arb channel, if you're a DFS Army subscriber already, I can't show. Go to the Arb Talk channel in the DFS Army Discord. They will help you get up and running. They will tell you which sports books you need. They will show you how to leverage $500 or $600 in an initial deposits and turn it into $1,000 because all the initial deposits give you all these bonuses depending on your state.
Yep.
They're going to show you other sports books that you can get onto that are alternate sports books that won't limit you, that are even better than the standard books, have tighter odds, and also are great for arbitrage betting. I don't know. You know, we have guys, Bobbywow. I got John Marchese out of Florida. He's making $1,500 to $2,000 a month doing it. We've got guys in the chat making $5,000 to $7,000 a month for a $69 subscription.
Yeah, and even if you're wager amount's a little smaller, it is a great way to build the bankroll for this weekend's NFL slate coming up. Allows you to take some risks in DFS, which is it's perfect. It's the perfect kind of cycle I have going on right now.
You lose your money in DFS, you make it back
Exactly.
Arbing during the week. Let's be real about how this is working out. Okay, until you hit that 14K, but this keeps you in the game. And it gives you something to do on an average NBA night on a Tuesday. Yeah. What do I do on Tuesday night, Bobby? Well, I'm watching the games. I got the NBA games on. I'm just arbing in the background. I'm able to print, $75, $125 in an hour and a half, risklessly or virtually risklessly. What's wrong with that?
Even Thursday. We're used to watching football Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just give it a shot Thursday? Get some arbs in.
Yeah.
And get some bankroll for this weekend's divisional matchups.
That's right, guys. Go to sharp.app. Get signed up. Sharp.app/geek has a 7-day free trial. Why don't you check out the tool? If you're not, and part of the deal, the reason we have these trials is check out the tool, get some sites going, and you'll make the entirety of the month in the first or second day that you do it. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, this is a money printing machine. I definitely want to keep this going. That's why we do it as a free trial, because I want you to really see and believe what's going on. Here, let me show you right now. Hang on, I'll show you right now, because I consistently feel like people don't believe it can be real. It can't be free money, or it's not exactly free money. There's a mild skill to this, but we'll show you how to do it. But like even right now, sitting here, look at this. If you wanted to do some arbs, wow, there's a 3%, arb sitting right there, just waiting. 2.5%. These are pre-games. These aren't even live. When it goes live, it's even more intense. But these are all just available right now. Look, there's a 7%er that just popped up. This is how, and a 5%. This is in real time, guys. No one is faster than Sharp App in bringing these forward, and that's why these amazing opportunities exist. Sharp App is effectively scanning about 140 different sports books, and you just let it know which sports books you have. You don't need them all. I just kind of enable the ones that are here in New York where I am, but it's scanning 140, and it's finding mispriced spots where the two sports books disagree with one another. So here, Bet 105, which is the best of all of them, and my goodness, get signed up for Bet 105. Go do it now. It's the best. But like, it's Bet 105 versus DraftKings on this quickly, and I'm getting plus 140 on the over 6.5. I'm getting minus 108 on the under. That's it's almost an 8% profit, regardless of which side wins. What about what you're seeing on here doesn't make you want to click bet now, and lock in the free money? Why? Why would you not want to do this? It's a $69.99 a month subscription to Sharp App. Go check it out and start fucking printing cash, and then put the money in the S&P every month and make $1 million by retirement. Like, that's what the side hustle is for. Extra money for you to pay your mortgage, for you to go out to dinner, take your kids out, take your wife out to dinner, buy her something fancy. Where's this fancy dinner come from? Arbed it up last night. Motherfucker. Outback Steakhouse, bitch. We're going.
You're doing 2 blooming onions.
Let's not go crazy. Let's not go crazy, Bobby. Wow, we're still splitting that.
My bad.
Still splitting that cowboy ribeye. Split it.
Split it.
Another one pops up. 5%, 7%. What are you guys doing? Go get signed up. Sharp.app. Download the app. iPhone, iOS, Android, wherever apps are available. There's a 10%er. What's happening? Plus 140 and plus 100. Both sides are plus money.
That's it right there.
And don't forget, of course, DFS Army, promo code Geek, get access to the Dom Station, all the good stuff we have going on as well. Good luck tonight, everybody. Join the winning team at DFS Army. If you're sick of seeing those helmets thinking, fuck those guys, join those guys.
There you go.
I didn't even show you all the NBA winners, but my goodness, they've been crushing NBA. Josiah, B-Dubs, Madness.
All of them. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, great. I don't play a lot of NBA. Sorry, I don't have a lot of help during the NFL season. Then I try to get into it when NFL ends, and it's just like, who are these players? That's just because I got to focus on one sport. But I'll be doing MMA and NASCAR in the off season. Believe that, and I'll be in those channels, just like the rest of you, in the streets, grinding away.
In the streets.
But we still a couple more weeks of football left, so let's keep it going. All right. Good luck, everyone. We'll be back later this week with all of the divisional round information that you need. I already know who's winning all the games. I've got this slate down. I'm so ready for it. I can't wait to start busting out with videos and, of course, tournament tactics on Friday. But we have one more slate to finish out NFL wildcard weekend. Let's finish with a bang. Good luck, everybody.
Wildcard strong.
Helmets up, people. Let's go.